Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Kim. I'm so excited you're here with me today. Welcome to this week's book chat. This week we are going to do one of my favorite videos, and that is a big book haul. Let's get into it. So I decided this time to switch it up a little bit with my book haul, and instead of doing one big book haul, I'm going to be doing this in segments. So I'm going to do the books I have right now, and then I'm going to add on a clip in a few weeks of any more books I've gotten. I just want to do this because I'm redoing my library in a few days, and I want to be able to put these books into my library and not have to pull them back out. So let's chat some new books. The first book I got is book number 2 in a series, and that is The Ballad of Falling Dragons by Sarah A. Parker. This is book number 2 to When the Moon Hatched. You can see it's book number 2 in the Moonfall series, and I, of course, had to get the special edition, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. We have these gorgeous inside pages. Of course, the hardcover is just black. I feel like that was a missed opportunity, honestly. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. But we also have the same gorgeous end page at the back, but the edges are just so gorgeous, and the front is so gorgeous. And of course, this is book number 2 in a series, so I can't tell you much about the plot line. All I can tell you is that it's a romantasy series, and that's all I really got. I read book number 1 like a year and a half ago, so I definitely need to do a bit of a refresh before reading book number 2. But it's a romantasy series. It has to do with dragons. And she is like a raider. And she somehow gets mixed up with like a king. That's all I remember. Is that correct? I'll let you know. The next book is also book number 2 in a series, so I've been trying to continue buying series. I've been trying to be good about buying new books that are like not part of a series, so there's a lot of series in this haul. So book number 2 in the Wolves of Ruin series is the next book, and that is Furybound by Sable Sorensen. This is book number 2 to Direbound. Again, absolutely gorgeous special edition. Could not resist. You know your girl is, yeah, if it's a pretty book, I'm probably going to be buying it. Yeah, look at that. That's insane. And then, see, not a missed opportunity. We have the hardback, the naked hardback. It says, "Only a monster can lead me out of the dark." So I've not read book 1 yet, so I cannot tell you much about this. It, again, is a romantasy. There's the end pages. Oh, look at that. Stop it. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. My voice went so high. But this series is, again, a romantasy series, and I know that in this series, the main characters bond with direwolves. That's all I know about this series. Next up, I have Broken Dove by Danny Francis. This is book number 2 to Silver Elite. Let me see if it tells me the name of the series. It does not. I'll put the name of the series right here. But this is book number 2. This is Broken Dove, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I have not read Silver Elite yet. Oh, there's nothing there. I expected there to be something there. Oh, we have a cute little wolf. Yeah, I have not read book number 1, so I do not know, honestly, anything about the series. I don't even know why there's wolves on this. It's a heart-pounding sequel. It's a dystopian romance. I believe it has to do with, I know there's something with magic, some kind of magic. Your girl really needs to read all these, can't you tell? But it's just so hard because they have these special edition pretty versions, and I want them to match book 1. So it's like I can't wait. I just have to assume I'm gonna like book 1 and hope that I do. You know? Next up, I have Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is hilarious. This is book number 2 in a series. The series is the Rose Hill series. It is a romance series. I believe they're like interconnected standalone, so I don't think you have to read them in order. It says, a rugged mountain town seemed like the perfect escape from a life in shambles, but on day 1 she ran full tilt into the world's hottest single dad, and now all her plans are ruined. So it's a single dad, mountain town romance. I don't know anything about it. I think it's spicy, but yeah. My AC is on, so I will catch up with you guys in probably like 20 minutes. Okay, I am back. Let's move on to the next book. The next book is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This, as you can see, is the Target Special Edition. It has these fun ombre edges. This is a beachy town, small town romance, and it says, "You and me in 1 year, don't let me down." So I don't know much about this book. I just know that I love Carly Fortune. She writes books with such good banter, and they're such fast reads, and I think they're really, really enjoyable. I definitely think they're really enjoyable, and they definitely usually have a bit of spice in them. I'm actually reading a Carly Fortune book right as we speak, which I think is hilarious, but it's just a cute summer romance, and I'm really excited for this one, and I'm definitely planning to read this one this summer. Speaking of books I plan to read this summer by Carly Fortune, I have Our Perfect Storm, again, by Carly Fortune. This is her newest book. It just came out. It is, again, a summertime romance, I believe, again. I think they're all set on, like, islands. I don't know for sure. 1 Week in Paradise to Heal a Broken Heart. It looks maybe like a second chance romance. Okay, just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, I knew nothing about this book. It looks like... ooh, she gets left on her wedding weekend and she ends up going with George, her best man, on her honeymoon to the lush rainforests and misty beaches of Tofino. But yeah, this is an absolutely gorgeous version. Like, let me show you. Look at this. Look at this. It's insane. It is insane. It is so, so pretty. This love was wild and obliterating. It is so pretty. And we open her up. We got a cute little whale tail. Whale tail. But yeah, Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. Again, I hope to read this book this summer. It's just probably going to be a spicy, banter-filled romance, and I'm really, really excited for it. Next up, we have another romance, but it's a different type of romance, and that is Game On by Navessa Allen, which is book number 3 into the Into Darkness series, and it is the last book for now. It says, "Are you ready to play?" I have read, I'm struggling here, guys, the first 2 books, and they are spicy, dark romances, but they are fun because they have, like, banter in them and just deep connection building, and I really, really liked the first 2. I liked the first book better than I liked the second book, but I did like the second book. I've heard a lot of people didn't love the second book. I enjoyed the second book. I thought it was good. So we have Lights Out, Caught Up, and then we have Game On. This one is a enemies to lovers collide in the scorching hot dark romance series. And I believe it is fake dating. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one, and I think it's going to be so fun. Again, continuing with the series, another book 2 in a series is The Thorn Queen by Sasha Payton Smith. This is book number 2 to The Rose Bargain. It's actually the end of the duology, so this is the second book and the last book in the duology. It is so pretty. Look at these purple flowers. And then we have Marbles stealing the spotlight. You are prettier than the book, okay? I promise. But we have this beautiful rose foiled on it, like a gold foiled rose. Keep it moving. Which is so pretty. Let me open the window. Which is just so pretty, and I'm really excited for this one. It is a fae magic fantasy book or duology, and it has to do with fae and humans, and there's a big twist at the end of book 1, so I'm really excited to read book 2. I don't know if I showed you the stenciled edges. They're, oh, look at that. Look at that. That's so pretty. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And then the final book I have for you guys for now is The Thorn of Broken Gods by Amber Nicole. This is Gods and Monsters series, book number 2. I have not read book number 1. These books are outrageously fat. But look at that. Look at those stenciled edges. That's insane. Like, do you see this knight and this? I can't. It is insane. It's so pretty. So I had to get this book. Like I said, I have... Ooh, the spine just cracked. I have book number... Stop it! This is gorgeous. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a special edition, if you're asking me. Yeah, I don't know anything about this series at all. It is a global phenomena, best-selling romantasy saga set in the Otherworld's ancient battles, full of betrayals. There's villains and heroes, enemies and lovers, right and wrong, and gods and monsters. So yeah, this book is absolutely gorgeous, and I had to get it. I hope to read this series soon, but like I said, they're so fat that I'm intimidated. It might have to wait till fall. But yeah, that is the last book I have for you for now future Kim will be here very soon to show you the next part of my book haul. So I will catch you guys later, and you will catch me in about 2 seconds. Okay friends, it is several days later, and I just wanted to pop in here and show you guys my June Book of the Month picks. So this is not sponsored. I am just a subscriber of Book of the Month. I have been for many years now, and I typically get add-ons to my box. Like, I add them on because I want a lot of the books and they're cheaper. So I got 3 books this month. The first one I got because, yeah, I had major FOMO, and that is Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. This one everybody has been reading and talking about, and I was jealous. I wanted to read and talk about it too, so yeah, I had to pick it up. This follows our female main character. She is a influencer as a traditional like homemaker and wife, but the secret is that behind the scenes she actually has a whole crew of people like doing everything for her. And then one day she wakes up and she's in the 1800s, and she is actually a traditional American wife. Like, she has to like milk the cows and like take care of her family, and yeah, it sounds really interesting, really fun, and I feel like so many different people have been reading it and getting it, and like I said, I had FOMO, so I had to pick this one up. And then the next book I got was Lovers XXX by Allie Rowbottom. So this one is about our 2 female main characters. When they are young, they decide to kind of get into like the sex work world, so they start doing like posing for magazines and creating some X-rated content, and then they get all caught up in this world, and then one night one of them disappears, never to be heard of again. The other one moves on with her life and kind of like starts a different kind of life, and now it's in the future, and I don't know exactly what happens, but all I know is she's now trying to figure out what happened to her friend back then, and I think that sounds really interesting. I think that sounds like a mystery that's like a little bit different, and one that's going to be fun for summer, because I feel like so many mysteries aren't really like summer mysteries, but I feel like this one is actually like a summer mystery, so I'm really excited for that one. And then finally I got Main Characters by Bobby Palmer. This one is a romance, but it's different than typical romances because it is not written by our main characters' point of views. Yeah, this book is written from the point of views of all the side characters, all the side people in their lives. So our main characters, we have our female main character who's a director, and our male main character who's a actor in, I think, a theater program they are putting on. Oh, it looks like they brought back together time and time again. So it's not just like one specific project they're working on. They're brought together time and time again. And then basically a love story occurs, and it is told to us from all the side characters' point of view. And I just thought that sounded so fun, so interesting, so I had to pick it up. So those are the 3 books I got for my June Book of the Month. I just wanted to pop in here and show you guys these. I'm sure I'll be back in just a little bit with another book haul because I have some books in my cart that I'm thinking about buying because they are on sale. I'm doing bad about this whole book buying ban thing. Really bad, but like, what is your girl to do, you know? So yeah, you'll see me probably in about 5 seconds with some more books. Okay, friends, it has been, of course, commercial. Okay, my friends, so it has been a couple weeks since we last chatted and I showed you my book haul, so I have a couple more books I wanted to show you guys, so let's get right into them. The first one is Queens of Themyscira by Hannah Lynn. Look at how beautiful this cover is. Like, look at it. I think it's so gorgeous. And this one is really fun, and it's about sisterhood. It says sisterhood is worth fighting for, and this is a retelling of a Greek mythology. I do not know which one. But it says, in ancient Themyscira, Hippolyte rules as queen of the Amazons with her sister Pensilia at her side. Feared throughout Greece, their skills on the battlefield are unrivaled. But when a ship lands on their shores, it brings something more dangerous than the threat of war: Theseus, the legendary king of Athens. Hippolyte falls in love with him and ends up leaving her people, so Pensilia has to lead the Amazons with a ferocity that spreads terror. But Hippolyte ends up finding herself trapped in her new life. She's a queen without her people, a warrior without her army, and a mother separated from her family. But she remains an Amazon, and she's ready to fight. And across the sea, Pensilia is ready to do the same. So that sounds really fun and really interesting, and it's a Greek mythology retelling. So I thought that was really fun, and I got it at the dollar store. So I was like, yes, $1.50 for a beautiful book that's a Greek mythology retelling about sisterhood. Count me in. The next book I got is book number 3 in a series. You guys obviously know I've been collecting on my series, and it is Sky Shade by Alex Esther. This is part of the Lightlark series, and she's been releasing like special editions of each one. So this is the special edition of the 3rd book in the series, and I'm sorry. Look at how beautiful it is. Look at how absolutely gorgeous this is. Like, isn't that insane? I think that's just insane how pretty it is. And oh, that was like our little back slip. There's a map inside, and I just think it's so pretty. And so I've been collecting these. So this is book number 3. I don't know much about this series. Since this is book number 3, I'm not going to tell you anything about this book, obviously, since no spoilers for me or you. I've not started the series yet, but I've been collecting all the pretty special editions. But I do know it's a fantasy romantasy series, and a lot of people really like it, so I'm excited to start reading this one soon. The next book I got is book number 2 in a series, and that is the Metal Slinger series. It's actually the Fire and Metal series, but book number 1 was Metal Slinger. Book number 2 is Light Wielder. This one recently just came out, and I think it is gorgeous edition. There's butterflies all over it. There's swords all over it. We have this really pretty inside, and then the hardcover. The naked hardback is absolutely gorgeous, let me tell ya. And yeah, I just think it's so pretty. Again, this is a fantasy romantasy series. I believe that, don't quote me on this, I believe it has to do with elemental magic, hence the like Metal Slinger stuff. But I've not read it. I know a lot of people love book 1. My sister loved book 1, and then I've heard like mixed feelings on book 2. I feel like I'm not sure. I feel like some people loved it and some people thought it was a little bit of a miss. But I'm really excited to read it, and I do think I'm going to start this series probably in the next like month or 2. So I'm excited to get these ones read. And then the final book I have for you right now is The Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen. Funnily enough, this is also book number 2 in a series. It's the Bridge Kingdom series, and book number 1 is called The Bridge Kingdom. This is book number 2, and they have been releasing these books in special fancy editions, so I've slowly been collecting them. I believe the series is a collection of duology, so book 1 and 2 follow like one couple, and then the next 2 in the series follow another couple, but that's what I've just heard. But this is the gorgeous naked hardback. I mean, look at that. Like, they're doing crazy things with books nowadays, but it's just so pretty. And yeah, so I had to get that because it's book number 2 in the series. And now that I know that they're in like mini duologies, I'm probably going to read book number 1 and 2. And then like I'll have to go purchase 3 and 4. But yeah, I really like it. And then Danielle L. Jensen, I actually really like her as an author. She wrote A Fate Inked in Blood. It's a duology. And I really liked that one. So I was like, I'm excited to read this one. Okay, and then I'm currently waiting for my July books of the month, so hopefully they will be showing up today. The app says they're out for delivery with the mail today, so hopefully they'll show up today, and if they do, then you guys will be seeing my July book of the months right now. Okay, it is the next day because my books came late last night, but the good news is they did show up, so I have my books of the month for July, and I wanted to just go through them with you guys really quickly before I finish up this haul. Yeah, I went a little crazy. I got 5 books for my book of the month this month. I have a subscription where I get 1 book a month, and then I can do add-ons, and I also have a subscription for the short stories, which I will talk to you guys about in just a minute. But the first book I got this month was my actual book of the month, and that was The Shampoo Effect by Jenny Jackson. This is a contemporary fiction book, and it follows a woman who is dating this man, and she tries to integrate herself within this friend group, and this friend group is like a really, really close friend group, and something happens where one of the friends in the group ends up pregnant with her boyfriend's baby, and she gets cast out of the group. That's all I really know about the story. It was what was in the little synopsis, and I don't really want to know much else. It just sounded like such an interesting story and different than something that I usually read. So I was like, I think I should pick this up and give it a read. It gives very much summer effects. So I'm thinking I need to read this like this month or in August because like it just looks like summer. So I'm very excited to read this one. And like I said, it's a little bit different. Contemporary fiction. Sounds like there's going to be like some love story to it, some messiness, and a lot of flawed, complicated humans. So I'm really excited for that one. The next book I got is part of Book of the Month's 100 Centennial celebration. So Book of the Month turned 100 this year, and they're doing this thing where they're re-releasing old books in new like covers and kind of formats. Sorry, you have a hair on you. New covers and formats so that we can enjoy some older books in a freshened state. So this month their centennial pick was The Right Stuff by Tom Wolfe. So I was like, okay, this one looks really fun and interesting, and I love space stories, so I wanted to give this one a try, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It comes with a bookmark. There's this really pretty inside pages, and then the covers on the centennial ones are special. They're like this extra fabric-y stuff, and they're really pretty. So I had to get this one, and this one is set in the, well, it was published in 1979, and it is set in the 1970s, and it follows like the space movement. So I just know that it follows individuals that were working on like the space movement. I don't remember much else about it, but I love space, and I have been trying to read more classics. So since Book of the Month is re-releasing some classics, I've been trying to pick up a couple of them. I haven't gotten all of the Centennial editions just because, well, that's a lot of books, but I have picked up this one and I'm really excited for it. Again, I love space, and I think this one's going to be really fun and really interesting. And yeah, I'm excited to get to that one. Next up, I got a book that I wasn't going to get, but then I just kept thinking about it, and I was like, well, one, if I keep thinking about it, clearly there's something about this book that's like drawing me in, and two, I know that everybody's going to be reading this book, and I needed it. So that is The Winged Game by Sophie Kim, and this book sounds so good and so interesting. It's like a cross between like a sci-fi fantasy with some romance and fake dating in there. So this book follows our female main character, and she is a like professional elite athlete, and she plays this rugby-esque game that they play on the back of these winged creatures, and something happens where her rival ends up getting her kicked out of the sport, and so she's kind of just trying to get her life back together, and then something else happens where her rival now needs help, and he's like, I'll get you back into the sport, but you have to fake date me. So that sounds really, really fun because it's enemies and fake dating, it's sports romance, and even more, there's a mystery where these creatures get an illness and they have to try to figure out where it's coming from and how to save them. So there's going to be a bit of a mystery to it. There's going to be some drama, there's fake dating, there's romance, there's sci-fi, there's fantasy, there's sports. So yeah, like all of that together, I was like, okay, that just sounds so good. And I know that it's going to just pop off. I just know it is. So I'm really excited for this one, and I think it's going to be really good and really interesting. And yeah, I can't wait to read it. I'm really excited for all of these. Next up, I have Volume 0, Issue 14, which is my short story collection. So I mentioned I have a subscription to Book of the Month short story side. So every other month they publish a collection of short stories, and they're just kind of like out there stories, a little bit different, a little bit weird, and I think they're really fun and really interesting. So this is the latest version of that. I have been part of this since it started, so I've always really enjoyed it, and I thought they were really fun and interesting to read. So that is the book I got. I, however, am going to be canceling my short story subscription just because they've rebranded it into a bit of a magazine, and I don't really need ads in something that I'm already paying for. I'm not looking for a magazine. I was looking for a short story collection, like a book that I could add to my bookshelf, which of course I can still add this, but it's just not the same as it was originally, and I'm not interested in it anymore. So this is more of like a short story magazine advertising opportunity for them now, whereas before it was just a collection of short stories and nothing else. So I will be canceling this subscription, but I do enjoy the short stories, and I think they're fun and interesting, and all the authors are very great writers, and they have such imaginative minds. So the short stories are great. The rebranding, I just don't love. And then, final book I got in my book of the month was Pretty Dead Things by Kelsey Cox. This is a mystery thriller, and it follows pageant queens. So in 2000, a woman disappeared from this ranch, and it's now 2025, and it's the annual Lone Star Princess pageant. And let's just say things kind of start getting brought up from the past, and just like a princess pageant and a murder mixed together just sounded so fun and so interesting, and yeah, I think it's so pretty, I couldn't resist. So those are my July books of the month. My camera's about to die, so let's just go back to Kim and finish up this vlog. Yeah, so excitingly, my books of the month did show up. I just recorded it a little bit later in the day, hopefully. If not, I'm just going to cut this part out because that would be funny. But my books of the month showed up, and then these are all the books I got recently. I don't know how many are in this video. I'll put the number right here because, like, you know, I've been recording this over several weeks, like probably over a month now, and I have lost track of how many books I've talked about, but those are all the books I've gotten recently. I would love to hear what books you guys have gotten recently, and let me know if I need to read any of these, like, ASAP. Like, are there any on here that you're like, you gotta read that now, girl? Let me know. But I want to thank you guys so much for being here and watching this haul. I love making haul videos, so expect another one probably in like 6 weeks as I collect books. I'm trying to be better about buying books, so we'll see. We'll see. I try my best, but like, they just release so many good ones all the time. It's just so hard. But yeah, thanks again for being here, and hope you guys are having a fabulous month. live well, read lots and lots and lots of good books, and buy lots of good books. And go discover, my friends. Bye! If you're still here, I want you guys to leave a comment, and I want you guys to say, we love a book haul, because oh my god, do we love a book haul.